Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to recreate this small little cabinet here with two doors using our boxing or crating technique. So looking at our object starter, we can see it has two doors and the front face of it here is roughly square. That's where it comes in the proportions of the object. The proportion is the relationship between the key dimensions, so our length and our height here roughly the same, and we can see our depth going back is roughly about a quarter of our object. So while you might change the angle of or your viewing direction of the object, it's important that you try and keep the proportions of the object the same to make it look like the original one. So we'll begin by first of all drawing in the top surface of our object. So I'm going to keep the angle roughly the same. I'm not overly worried about it being exactly the same. I'm just drawing my nice straight line like that as my leading edge. Then I'm going to go back and just change the angle of my sheet to help me keep my lines nice and straight, and we're going to draw the back of our object. So there is roughly the width or the depth of my object, and from our question we can see the length I'm going to say is roughly about here. Say roughly about here. So that's roughly in keeping with our proportions. I'm going to then draw the size of my object by drawing in my vertical edges like so, and keeping this distance roughly the same as this distance here. I'm going to say that's about it there, say. So ghost over once or twice to try and keep my angle. There's my angle, you can see roughly square, and same thing applies with the depth going back. Ghost over it once or twice, giving me my side of my object. So with that I'm going to draw in the two doors. So you can see our doors are equal insofar as that they're in the middle of the object, so I need to locate the middle of my object. The way we do that is we join up the diagonals. So the two diagonal corners like so, there is one line like so, and then just change the angle of my sheet to help me join up the diagonal of the two opposite sides. And then that's the center of our piece. So our edge of our door here is going to go straight from there. So let's keep our line like that, try and keep it parallel as much as possible with the edge. You can always go back and change it if you need to afterwards, but that's roughly it, maybe a little bit more there like that. So that's roughly parallel with it. So that's our door like so, and then we can see our second door is going to be hinged open, so we can go off at any angle for that. So let's say there's our angle like so, and whatever angle I've gone there, just keep it parallel at the top, like so. And the distance of the door, the size of the door, roughly the same as the size of the gap left over there. So again we'll go parallel to our leading edge here and say roughly there, say like so. So that's our door like that. And if we want to put in our little kind of hinge or path lines like that, we can just maybe move the sheet like round, and just with our twisting our wrist just keep two little arcs like that, and that just shows the door opening up the path for him like so. We can add in then little details. We can see the object is hollow, so what we want to do is we want to hollow out the inside of it. You do that simply by just going again parallel lines to give us the back of the object. There's the edge going back into the object, so that's him roughly there like so, and then same thing applies, our length going all the way across there, so that's the inside of our object. So if you want it, you can embellish the object by putting in, say, maybe a set of shelves or maybe a drawer. So you can decide to pick wherever you want. Just say, well, maybe we want to have a shelf here. So go parallel to our edge. There's a position for our shelf. And there's our edge going back into the object. So that would be the location for our shelf. Or if you want to maybe have a shelf down here at the bottom, you might say, well, let's say there's a drawer there. So there's a drawer. And just all I'm doing is just drawing a series of parallel lines to my leading edge, and I'm going to just give the position of my drawer there like that. Again, you can just draw it in nice and light to start with. What we're going to do afterwards is we're going to go back over it and we're going to put in our finished edges. So there's just our handle there. going back into it. So that's the rough shape of our object. I'm going to just ink it in now, the completed shape, exactly what I'm keeping. So with my inking in fine liner pen.